Welcome. We will begin shortly. I'm realtorleaven with Keller Williams Realty, and today's webinar will be on buying a new home from the ground up. So today's agenda, I'll talk a little bit about me, time frames for building a new home, pros and cons of buying a new home, and the steps of buying a new home. Well, here's a little bit about me. I'm a realtor in Virginia, Maryland, and DC. I've been in real estate for over 15 years and I have experience selling new and existing homes. To view new construction homes, go to my new home construction site, showingnew.com/Rashawn11, to view homes based on sales price, area, and more. So let's talk about time frames for building a new home. It's important to understand how the building world works if you plan on buying a new home. Keep in mind that builders' contract state that they have up to 2 years to complete the home without a penalty. Though if you default and not close on time, you will be charged a per diem fee each day that you do not close. So if it is a stackable condo, it will take up to 4 months. If it's a mid-rise to high-rise building, it could take up to 15 months. Townhomes, up to 4 months or longer. Single family, up to 6 months or longer. If it's a custom-built home, it will take probably 12 months or longer. Keep in mind that a certain percentage, if you're doing a condo or townhome unit, must be under contract before the builder will start construction. So if you put your house under contract and there are 7 other units in the building and they haven't sold, they will not start construction until those other units, the certain percentage of the building has sold. Usually it has to be about 75% before they start building, if not at 100. So let's talk about a few pros and cons of buying a new home. You'll get a modern floor plan and design, no bidding wars. There may be closing cost incentive if you use their preferred lender or title company. Keep in mind that you should hire a buyer's agent to assist you with buying a home. A few cons of buying a new home. There will not be any financing contingency allowed if you use an outside lender. No home sale contingencies are allowed. So if you have a home that you need to sell, the contract cannot be contingent upon that house selling. But I have a way around that if you're actually looking to move up. I have another solution for that if you want to move to a new home or an existing home. The builder or the site agent works for the builder, and not all builders are the same in their quality standards and warranties. Keep in mind that you should hire a buyer's agent to assist you with buying a home. There are items that I will only share with my clients directly and won't be shared in this video. So if you're my client, I'll go over more in depth. If you're outside of my area, I keep in mind that the information given in this video, this webinar, is for informational purposes only, and dates and timelines could differ in your area. So, steps to buying a new home. So, you should hire an agent. You should get an approval. Location, subdivision, look at location and subdivision, price ranges, different floor plans, cost to build estimate, offer submission, earnest money deposit, meeting for the final structural changes, home design center, pre-drywall walkthrough, new home orientation, final walkthrough, and closing. Now I'll break down each step in detail on the next slides. So hiring an agent. It's important to hire a buyer's agent when buying a home. It's a lot of ins and outs to consider that you won't know, since it's likely your first time buying a brand new house, or any home for that matter. An agent should have experience with new construction and the process. After you have interviewed and hired an agent, you should get a pre-approval so you know what your buying power is. It doesn't make sense to look at a home if it's 600,000 if you really need to be at 450,000 because you won't be able to buy it. I would recommend that you get an approval based on the maximum amount rather than a lesser amount. So to avoid being disappointed so you can find out in the beginning whether a new home option is actually an option for you to purchase or whether you need to go to the resale market. You can select your own lender when you purchase a new home, though the incentives will only be given to you if you use the builder's preferred partners. You will have to register your agent with you, and they also have to be with you on the first visit to be able to utilize that agent. Don't go to a new home site without your agent because you won't be able to have that agent. Well, you can, though you will be responsible for the cost of the agent. The builder will not pay for the agent after the fact. And also, the builder has a set commission rate that they pay the co-broker, which would be your agent, so you don't have to worry about your agent fee. So that's why you should have an agent. So you should have representation because the builder will take care of the fee for you. Typically, registrations will apply from 180 days from your initial visit. All right. Now let's talk about locations. You should make a list of your desired cities, counties that you want to live in. Then you want to narrow down your new home search based on what's available in your desired home range. So, do you want a townhouse? Do you want a condo? Do you want a single family? Are community amenities such as a swimming pool, gym, or tennis court important to you? See what's available based on your pre-approval that you have with your agent. Your agent will be able to help you narrow this down. If you found a few options to consider, now it's time to go to the community with your agent, of course, and your agent has to be with you on your first visit. So, your preliminary research, which really this is for an agent to do, but this is also for you if you would like. So now that you've made it to the preliminary research phase, your agent will assist you with these items. So it's important to know how many available lots are left in the community. Are there more than one builder in the community? What are the construction timelines? Are there any immediate delivery homes, meaning that you can actually move in probably within 30 to 60 days? Are there any closing cost incentives, especially if it was what they considered a fallout? You would actually be able to get incentives. Sometimes they offer that. A fallout would be somebody else's financing fell through, or basically the deal fell out for whatever reason. What are the standard features that come with the home at base price? Because remember, base price doesn't include all the bells and whistles with the house. Are there any special incentives or discounts on options, upgrades? Are there any lot premiums? How much is needed for your earnest money deposit? And if you actually found the lot that you wanted, in order to secure the lot, do you actually have to put a deposit for that property to be put on hold for you before you write the contract? So now that the preliminary research has been completed, it's time to view a few floor plans that will work within the budget and the delivery date that you would like. Most new builders have several floor plans to choose from other than the model home. Model homes are usually with all the bells and whistles and upgrades that you can get in a home. After you have found the floor plan that you desire in your price range, it's time to pick the lot. So I recommend that you actually drive the community to see where the lot is going to be, what it looks like, what is the grading of the land, and all of that, because you actually might not like where the lot looks. I mean, you can see it on paper, but if it's available that you can actually see where the lot is going to be, I would recommend that you do that. And also, If the home offers a basement, it's important to see whether the basement is going to be a walkout level or is the basement going to be walk up, meaning walk out is there your base, you'll be able to just basically walk out to the ground. Otherwise, if it's walk up, that means you would have stairs going up. In Washington, D.C. metro area, there are a few new home developments for condos, townhomes, single families, planned unit developments with community amenities, active adult communities for buyers over 55. I would recommend that you don't get caught up with the promises of what the future of a community will be, because counties and city restrictions can change the scope for future development plans. For example, if a community currently does not have an apartment complex, it could in the future. Another example, if a community original site plan had shopping or a certain company was going to come into the area, that may change. So future, buy the property based on how it is now in something that is already in the works, not the promises of what the future will be. So let's talk about floor plans. So once you should go to look at the model home, look at other available floor plans that are similar to the model home if you actually like the model home, because you may not be able to afford the model home based on the other amenities and features that you need to have in the home. So, and also, can your home of choice fit on the lot that you want to build on? Is the lot too small? Is the lot too large? If the lot is too large, then it requires for a larger home. So that's important. So now it's time to get the estimated cost of what your house is going to cost to build. So you want to create a list of all your must-haves, schedule a cost to build estimate with the new home agent and your agent, and figure out what particular lots that you want. So main areas I would suggest that you focus on is the kitchen. The main level flooring needs to be all the same if possible. Owner's suites and your basement. So those are going to be your most expensive costs or changes to the home. I would focus on those. Those are, I would say, your deal breakers. So figure out what the cost of the house is with that before you add any other items. Then you would review the cost with the builder and plus your upgrades and the final options. And the cost to build will also include your estimated down payment based on the type of financing you have, the monthly mortgage payment, and how much it's going to cost you to bring to settlement. Some things to consider when building a new home. The builder will have standard items that they offer. They'll have a level 1 upgrade. They'll have a level 2 upgrade with options for cabinets, countertops, and flooring. Not all floor plans that the builder offers has a model home to tour on foot. Lot premiums, those are the lots that actually back to woods, or if they're in units for condos, those properties are going to cost more. Washer and dryer is usually not included with the purchase. That would be something extra. You can get it, but that's not going to be included with the house. A deck is usually not included, and some builders will not have that as an option that they will build it for you when the house is being built. So that is an after thing that you have to do. So let's talk about an option that you would add. So if you add on a sunroom to a house, more than likely you will have to add an extension on the owner suite and also in the basement as well, which is about a $30,000 option. Gives you more square footage, but keep in mind that's going to change the price tag of the house. Not all floor plans can fit on available lots. I hate to stress that again, but it happens a lot. Certain homes have to be built on certain lot sizes to accommodate the home. Some builders already have the lots that have been approved by the county or city for the home site floor plan to be built on. Also, the community and site developer has already predetermined what the exterior of the home is going to look like. So that in regards to the color of the door, what color brick is going to be on the house, if there is brick, what the vinyl siding is going to look like, shutters, etc. So you may not be able to change those colors. And also, if the house has a garage, you may not get a garage door opener, which they don't cost that much, but don't be surprised if that's not included. All right, so now it's time for your offer appointment. Everything makes sense on paper, so it's time to actually schedule your appointment. So you will, if you depends on what the actual builder is going to offer you for incentive to use their preferred lender and title company. You may decide to choose to get an approval with them, which that's your option and that's your choice. You can do so. But a lot of times, in order for your contract to actually get approved by the builder, represented by the builder president, you have to get a pre-approval letter with them, whether you use them or not. They just won't give you the incentive if you don't use them. So your earnest money deposit will be due at that point. You will sign a co-broker form if you have an agent, which you should, and you review if it's in an HOA or a condo. You will get the documents once you've completed and signed all the documents. It'll usually be on a thumb drive for you. And you will sign the contract electronically. So now that you've received the contract back from the builder, it's time for the final structural changes. So you probably will have up to 7 days to make any structural changes. Sometimes some builders will give you 10 days, but that's usually a rule of thumb. So if you wanted to add on a basement, multi-level extensions, or if you wanted to take something away, so any structural changes to the house, this is the point where you need to say, okay, well, maybe you thought, well, maybe I don't need that, or I do need this. So this is the time to do that, because you won't be able to make any structural changes later. So like, say for instance, if you wanted to add a coffered ceiling, this is the time to do that, because that's structural. That you can't add that later. So, New Home Design Center. So you set up the appointment with the design center. So you've done the final structural changes. So this is the time where you want to choose all your finishes. So this is your interior finishes. This is what is your lighting going to look like? What type of flooring are you going to use? What color is it going to be? What color countertops are you going to do? Are you going to change based on what you actually had in the contract for what the upgrade is? What color cabinets are you going to do? What's your bathroom going to look like? Are you going to upgrade what the commode is? Because the standard commodes, I will tell you, they're short, so you should upgrade that. And any other items that you feel that you need to do. And sometimes they'll actually do where you're wiring, if you're going to do like ceiling fans and things, so they'll do that at this meeting. I would recommend that you take a picture of your options and also write them down, and take a picture of the option sheets. So you will remember, because it will likely be a long time from when you actually see it and when it's actually in the home. And so you won't have any discrepancies, so you can verify, well, this is what was signed off on and this is what you are getting in the home. And you also place where your lighting is going to go. So the pre-drywall meeting. So when your home is in the framing stage and before the drywall is installed, you will walk the home with the construction manager and your agent. This will be the last time that you'll be able to see behind the walls of your home, so ask questions. So your new home orientation. So your home is finished. So now it's time to get out the blue tape or green tape, depending on what the builder is. They'll either have one of the two colors. At this point, you will walk the home with a construction manager in every room, and he or she will explain how the home works. So you will have the opportunity to put blue or green tape on areas that need to be corrected in the home prior to your final walkthrough. Then you will create what's called a punch list of items that need to be completed before you close on your home. Keep in mind that some items may not be completed depending on the severity and whether it can be done, because a lot of times the new home orientation meeting is about 7 days before you actually close. But they will complete them because it's in writing. If it's not in writing, they're not going to do it. So, final walkthrough. So you will review all the items on the list and sign off on that they were completed to your satisfaction. Make sure nothing else has changed with the home. And at that point, the construction manager will review what the home warranties with the company they offer. So that's craftsmanship, structural, and system warranties at that point. So closing. So you'll need your driver's license or passport and make sure they are unexpired, your certified check or wire funds to the title company. You will review and sign your documents and you will get your keys to your new home. This concludes Buying a New Home from the Ground Up webinar. If you should have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to give me a call. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm Rashauna Levin with Keller Williams Realty.